The Menu, a film that was put out to us in the middle of November of 2022, a movie that was listed as a horror comedy type of film. I know I'm a little bit late to the party, but here is my honest opinion about The Menu. I'm going to go ahead and start out with some of the good things that I was able to take away from this movie. I'm going to start off by saying normally these aren't the type of movies that I'm really into. Not necessarily a huge horror guy. I do like comedy type of films, and really this one did not super click with me. I'll go ahead and start off with some of the pros that I did have for this movie. I loved Anya Taylor-Joy in this movie. She was absolutely fantastic. I truly did think that she did a really good job of portraying this character that she did have. She was put in kind of a weird situation where if you guys haven't seen it, this is going to be a spoiler review. It's been out for a while now. You guys can catch it on HBO Max, but basically she was a sex worker. She was hired on as a sex worker, then ends up going to a restaurant with a guy, and it is basically on a private island. And that's kind of where the story ends up taking off. So she kind of had a very difficult role to fill. I think that she did a very, very solid job with what she did. I actually enjoyed that part of it. When I did first see the trailer ended up coming out for this movie, I watched it and I thought to myself that this truly did have a lot of potential. I was like, man, this is a great storyline. Like, this is really strange. But if you go ahead and take a look back at what the actual trailer was, they focused a lot on one tiny scene that was basically a lot like a manhunt.
This is what you're paying for.
And if you guys have seen the movie, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. They're running through the woods, basically like a hide and seek type of thing. It was kind of a weird scene, but they focused a lot on that, and they made this movie kind of seem like that was what it was going to be for quite a good chunk of it. Regardless, that wasn't a whole lot of the movie. That was probably like 5 to at most 10 minutes, which was kind of a misleading trailer, which is always fine because at the end of the day, we don't want to be spoiled by the entire thing. But I do feel like there was a lot of other good stuff as well. I obviously did love the character of Ralph Fiennes as well. I thought that he actually did a really good job of that. He's more commonly known as Voldemort in the Harry Potter series.
Severus.
I'm a diehard Harry Potter fan just in general. You guys will come to know that about me if you guys do check out the channel. And you guys do hang around for a little bit. We'll be doing some more rankings and, reactions and stuff like that. But nonetheless, Ralph Fiennes did a really good job in this movie. Obviously, he is one of literally the biggest villain in all of the Harry Potter sequence. And he does a really good job of actually portraying that in this movie. Kind of weirdly enough, he got off the vibe that he was a very creepy but yet stubborn and gritty type of character, especially in the like kitchen atmosphere just in general. He basically had these guys kind of like brainwashed in a way.
You're brainwashing me!
And I thought that was kind of a cool aspect. You could just tell that he was a very powerful figure, especially to the people in that restaurant. So I thought that was a really good touch. I actually really liked what they did with his character for that one. And it's pretty much everything that you like in Voldemort put into this chef. So I thought that was actually a really nice touch. Of course, this movie was a movie that was produced by Mark Mylod, the director of a couple of Game of Thrones episodes, as well as Shameless, which is one of the top TV shows to a lot of people. And so I did have some extremely high hopes for this one. But to be completely honest, this one just really didn't click for me. We'll go ahead and give a rating towards the end, but I just wanted to go over some of the things that kind of made me upset about this one. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I was just kind of disappointed with the way, mostly Act 3 more than anything. But one of the starting things was this movie was listed as a horror film. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more than that. Of course, it was like a horror / comedy film, so I get it, but to me, the comedy wasn't necessarily a part that personally worked for me. I didn't really find it that funny, and it seemed like some of the workers were basically like brainwashed and traumatized by this, and I just didn't really get the vibe of it being a horror film. I know that there was a couple killings, but really there was only like a couple of them. The one old guy that was in the show, they ended up obviously taking off his finger, but there really wasn't a whole lot of kills in that movie. I know that there doesn't need to be kills, but it just seemed like a movie that there should have been. Of course, the whole aspect of the movie was finishing the menu. The menu, he mentioned it, everybody has to die for the menu to be complete. They didn't kill most of the people until like the very end. So I just thought that it was a little I was just wanting a little bit more gore. I know that that does kind of sound, strange, but the main killings that I even remember were like the one where Tyler ended up obviously, you know, getting hung. That was of course pretty dark. And then suicide, both of those were very, very, dark and gory. But the only other memorable kill that was really in it, of course, other than Anya Taylor-Joy's kill, was the one where they had the guy hanging outside of the restaurant, and they lowered him in with like big wings into the water and he drowned. There just wasn't a lot of gore for me, and I feel like it could have been elevated to even the next level had there been. I really didn't like the ending either. That's where the full thought process of this one really comes in. I was really underwhelmed by the ending. Not necessarily because of the part with Margot. I thought that the part with Anya Taylor-Joy, Margot, however you want to look at it, I just didn't like the way that it was set up. Obviously, at the very end of the movie, Margot ends up seeing a picture of him flipping cheeseburgers, like in a picture, and then basically begs him to make her one. And because of that, she simply BS's her way out of the restaurant. Okay, okay, I get it. But I just didn't like that. I felt like that there were so many more things that could have happened, and it finishes with her taking that cheeseburger, riding out on a boat, and eating it. I was very underwhelmed by this, and not only that, but the people in the restaurant, as all this was going down, with Anya Taylor-Joy literally begging the chef to make her just a normal cheeseburger, there was almost no fight in this movie from the people that were in the restaurant. Of course, there was a couple ones where the guy was trying to attack the window with the chair, which is obviously funny. He went to try to break it, and it was just, it was unbreakable glass, especially with a chair. It was funny in that regard, but there was just a lot of people that really just didn't care that they were going to die. And so as Margot is walking out, I feel like there should have been a world where that the people that were in the restaurant should have put up a little bit more of a fight. If they would have put up a little bit more of a fight to try to get out, and then the same ending would have happened with them becoming human s'mores, then maybe I could have gotten behind it a little bit more. I just really didn't like it. The chef literally let Margot walk away with no sort of fight whatsoever.
That was easy.
And I wish there was a little bit more, I wish that there was a little bit more of a challenge for Margot to get out of the restaurant. But instead, she begs for a cheeseburger, gets the cheeseburger, asks for it to go, and they let her walk free. I really just didn't like that ending. I felt like that there was so many things that they could have done with the ending of this movie, and it would have made it, it would have put it up there for sure. So instead, of course, this will be a movie that I will rewatch, but I'm only going to give it a 7 out of 10 crowns. That is the way that we do our rating system around here. We do it out of crowns. If a movie's ever 10 out of 10, it will be in our royalty, but for right now, it is just a 7 out of 10. I just really didn't like the whole third act. I was just waiting for more and more and more, and there just never was. There was never really a huge delivery piece, and I had to literally Google the end to try to figure out everything that happened. And if I have to do that for a movie, it just doesn't really, hit for me. I get why there's a lot of people that enjoyed it. I completely understand that. It just personally wasn't for me. So that is going to do it for this video. That is my honest review about The Menu. 7 out of 10 crowns for sure. So it's still an enjoyable movie. If it was Rotten Tomatoes, I would go ahead and still give it a thumbs up. It's going to be a movie that I do rewatch, and maybe I'll like it more whenever I do end up rewatching it. Personally, my first watch through, wasn't a huge fan of it. This is going to be the Civil CinemAddicts channel here on YouTube. My name is Austin. This is our first official review on the channel. Sorry it wasn't like a 10 out of 10 or anything, but 7 out of 10 is still pretty solid. I will definitely rewatch it. It's just not something that that was super high on my list. But regardless, if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe. We have a ton of new content here coming for you guys. My name is Austin. I am just 1/3 of what is going to be on this channel, with Brady and Ryan following right behind me. I hope you guys do have a great rest of your day. Let me know what you guys think of the menu. You guys may have way different opinions than me. And of course, as always, I will respect those opinions, because at the end of the day, everybody's opinion is different. That's what makes movies so great. So make sure you guys do drop your opinion down below. But this is Austin from Civil Cinematics. Have a good rest of your day.